Wrath Classic beta started. It has some changes.
And they philosophically went through them.
I'm not in the beta.
Yeah.
Everyone else seems to be in the beta, but we're not.
Yeah.
I don't believe that, and I'm also, I didn't get in Warcraft Arclight Rumble, even though I sent a few emails, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we're punished.
I was going to say Bobby has you in the fucking hit list.
List. No, I think it is just, obviously you guys all heard about the closure of the French office. So, a lot of our points of contact are different now. And I am a lazy, scatterbrained bastard. So, where, everyone else is probably sending their emails in good time and being like, oh, how do I coordinate all of this stuff? I was just doing other shit. So, hopefully I can get myself in. It would be cool to do a video. I don't know what video it would be, or if it would just be a clip or something, or maybe a stream segment. But, I want to play Mana Bar Hunter again. Remember what that's like.
Yeah.
Right? But anyway, it's exciting. Classic beta has started, and their developer update is interesting. We've got a nice little TLDR here. So they have 3 different pillars for guiding some changes. And that is to nurture and protect social experiences, approachable and familiar, world is the main character.
But I thought I was the main character. Champion. Maw Walker. Hero, etc.
So they're just talking about, retaining some of the social experiences, right? So any changes made to Wrath Classic will help maintain social proximity, and in doing so, nurture those things. I think that's why, you're not really seeing a match-made group finder. Approachable and familiar. So, the way that the combat pacing is, class designs, all of those, they want to maintain the approachability and familiarity. The world is the main character, which I mean, there's not much you need to really change or tweak there for that to be preserved. But where some changes are, I think, going to be more impactful, is itemization.
Yeah, it's kind of major tweaking going on here, which I'm happy to see, I think.
Yeah, so they say they want to foster a vibrant ecosystem engaging all Wrath instanced content, which sort of nurtures and protects the social experience, because they basically enjoyed how people were active in multiple raids and the different tiers across TBC. Yeah. So they want to maintain that, which, I mean, I don't know how you really massively do that in Wrath, because Wrath was a bit more stratified feeling.
Yeah, maybe they've got an answer.
So maybe they have an answer. They want to maintain a healthy density of players enjoying heroic dungeons through the whole expansion, which I think is interesting, right? So the emblems and items that drop should be valuable even late in the expansion, and they should be an interesting challenge throughout the expansion, rather than becoming excessively easy.
Yeah, that's the thing that's really crazy to me, because...
Halls of Lightning at start hard, Halls of Lightning at end cakewalk.
Yeah, that's the thing where, you can't have good gear progression, strong gear progression, that has a really kind of, for everyone, satisfying power curve, and also have all of this stuff maintained true, because you tried that, or Blizzard kind of dealt with these problems in a very different way. And this is where I'm obviously Classic Plus is a different conversation in terms of content being created, but philosophically it feels like they're going, we have a second chance. We can see if we have different solutions to the problems we encountered back in the day with World of Warcraft and had answers. We have to deal with the consequence of those answers, largely speaking, because we've now created a whole new type of player and a whole new world. So can we go the opposite direction? Because it's the same thing, we need these dungeons to remain relevant, and the way the modern team addressed that in Legion was, the way they addressed it in Mists and WoD was to go challenge mode stuff, which is a little bit just the, hey, this is a hard challenge, no gear, which is very different to how World of Warcraft generally overall is. So then they went, okay, Mythic Plus. And everyone knows how that turned out. Good for some people, not good for other people, etc., etc. But it is just difficulty ramps with you, so it's this kind of never-ending curve of you always have content at your gear level. So it's how can they philosophically do something that isn't just Mythic Plus, or at least fits the same principles? I find it interesting to see what they're going to do to keep the challenge there.
Just do what WoD did.
Was that challenge modes and extra difficulties?
Mythic.
Yeah. But then
Wild Mythic was like way more challenging at the end. You could like actually die and get killed.
Yeah, so is that just going to be add another difficulty? But then that falls under the same stance of, oh, there's breakpoints for it to be difficult. So is that just Mythic Plus but not infinite in the same kind of sense? Because I think that's actually a pretty good answer, is just add more difficulties for it. But it's certainly interesting to see if they could, because the other way to do it is to make it not challenging with gear, but challenging mechanically, but then that requires you to change the mechanics of it. And it would require you to have a bunch of one-shot stuff or like really, really awful stuff, which I think players haven't really responded super well to historically. So it's a very interesting problem. And I very much look forward to it, because I feel like, especially looking at the sum changes, reading over this like post, I definitely feel they're going, we have got the most incredible opportunity in all of video game history, basically, which is we get to take the biggest, best, most incredible game that's ever existed, because World of Warcraft at certain points in its time absolutely was that. We get to steer that in a different direction. We get to almost correct the course of history. We get to go in with, obviously it's not the same team the whole way through, but for people who have watched it, and I'm sure there's definitely overlapping teams and stuff, but they've watched it happen and go, we can correct the course of history. We can Back to the Future this game, basically. So it's really interesting to see what they actually do.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I like what they're saying. I like the tone of things.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and another thing, that consistency. So basically, if you were there during Wrath, the badges and stuff, they work very similarly across. But, you know, that you kind of got a new badge every time, so, and then just stuff like that. So basically, they are just going to normalize things to the way that they worked during TOC and ICC. That makes sense. So, there you go. Meaning that 10 and 25 player raids drop Valor at launch. Dungeons and older raids drop Heroism. Can be used, of course, to purchase less powerful items. And this is a good one. Good. Nax is going to receive buffs. Yeah. Needed that.
I feel like that was only a challenge for people in Wrath, because people who did it in Wrath hadn't done it before. And also,
it wasn't really a challenge for a lot of people in Wrath. It was like, about everyone considered it too easy.
Sorry, I should say it was only a challenge for some, because I will tell you this, it was definitely a challenge for me, but that's because I was trying to do the safety dance at about 15 frames per second, maybe 10 frames per second at worst.
That was a lot of people's Wrath experience.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I remember turning projected textures off for a raid, realizing that was a terrible idea.
Was it projected textures in Sinvergosa?
Well, I never got to that point.
Because I think what it was is turning off projected textures in Sinvergosa really salvaged your frame rate, but I think it also removed some like vital fight information that would get you killed.
And it took...
That could be wrong.
And
just a memory.
It took them until 9.1 or 9.2. Maybe it was 9.0, I don't remember being that early, for the projected textures tooltip to say, please don't turn this off, you might miss stuff. It took them that long.
Wow. So look, there you go. Basically, Wrath Classic. Overall, stuff's looking really good. It seems like they're just doing interesting things. It's almost like a light systemic remastering.
Yep, which is, I think, I'm sure a lot of people would still like no changes, but I think a substantial amount of the community have now seen the changes they have made to Classic and TBC and kind of went, I'd say that maybe the boost. Fair enough. Fair game. You have made changes that actually do improve the game overall. Like, fuck world buffs. Absolutely. Yeah.